following may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Woman violated at Couva Shopping Complex. Suspect on the run. A 33-year-old woman was reportedly assaulted whilst using the restroom at the Couva Shopping Complex. The woman was entering the restroom on the western side of the building and attempted to close the door, but was prevented from doing so by the suspect. He then choked her and covered her mouth and then proceeded to assault her. The suspect is said to be of East Indian descent, dark brown in complexion, stocky built, and approximately 6 feet tall. Sky found dead outside his home in Penal. Police are investigating the death of a man known only as Sky of Budu Trace in Penal. He was found lying motionless in a pool of blood at his home in close proximity to his gate. Thus far, it is suspected that he may have been hit on his head and robbed of his jewelry. Seven injured in Malick shooting, including 11-year-old. Police are investigating an incident in Malick in which 7 people, including an 11-year-old girl, were shot. Reports indicate that around 10:15 last night, a group of men were liming at a yard at 9th Street, 6th Avenue, Malick, when a vehicle stopped in front of them. 2 men alighted from the vehicle and opened fire on the group before fleeing the scene. The 7 who were shot were taken to hospital and treated for their injuries. No one died in the incident. Investigations are ongoing. Rio Claro teacher robbed in home invasion. A 57-year-old teacher was robbed at her home in Rio Claro around 5 p.m. on Sunday. Police say Jody Mado was at her home at Latram Trace, Riverside Road, Fawn Rose Village, Rio Claro, when 2 masked men entered her home and demanded cash and jewelry. One was armed with a pistol and the other was armed with a crowbar. Mado was tied and gagged. She was then robbed of $300 in cash, gold jewelry valued at $13,500, a cell phone valued at $8,000, her ID card, driver's permit, bank cards, and her car keys. After the men escaped, Mado managed to free herself and alerted a mobile police patrol that was in the area. Police searched the area, but the suspects were not found. Mado received medical treatment at the Rio Claro Health Center. Police investigations are ongoing. Woman among 4 suspects arrested for robbery in Debi. A woman and 3 men have been held and are being questioned in regards to a robbery and possession of firearm incident in the Southern Division. Police said on Sunday, Southern Division officers were on mobile patrol along the SS Erin Road, Debi, when they responded to a report of a robbery in the Southwestern Division involving a gold-colored Nissan Tida. The officers observed the vehicle and intercepted it along the same route. Officers searched the vehicle in the presence of all occupants, and one Beretta pistol fitted with a magazine was discovered in the vehicle, together with a quantity of cigarettes and cash believed to be the proceeds of the robbery in the Southwestern Division. Officers immediately arrested 3 men and 1 woman, ages 24, 28, 34, and 40, 3 of La Romaine and 1 of Palmist. The 4 were transported to the San Fernando police station, where charges are expected to be laid. Alleged suspect in couple's homicide found dead. The decomposing body of a man of African descent, discovered in a forested area of Rincon Road, Las Cuevas yesterday morning, has been unofficially identified as that of Franklin Abel Clement. The 34-year-old, who worked as a security guard, is believed to be the perpetrator who is responsible for the homicide of Hollis and Shireen Valdez on July 29 at their home before he made good his escape into the bushes leading off to a popular hiking path. Although an official identification will be done today at the Forensic Science Center in St. James, angry villagers yesterday blocked the main road in front of the house where the homicides occurred with burning debris, demanding to see the corpse. Having spent 2 sleepless nights since the homicides occurred, as they were fearful that the armed Clement could return and hurt them too, the villagers said they were happy to receive closure after viewing the suspect's clothing and belongings. A hiker who veered off the hiking path in order to urinate stumbled upon the body around 9 a.m. As the police were contacted and word spread that the man responsible for the double homicide had been found, villagers rushed to the scene. However, due to the rough terrain, many of them were unable to get to the actual site. And as the police officers emerged from the forest with the body, they were blocked by angry villagers who wanted to make sure it was the man responsible. Although the officers advised against it, tempers flared as the villagers again accused law enforcement of trying to protect their own, as the suspect was reported to have been friendly with some of the local officers. They blocked the road, preventing the officers from leaving, and burned debris. The protest came to an end soon after, as officers eventually allowed a handful of men who had formed part of previous search parties to view the clothing and items that had been retrieved, from which they were able to confirm it was indeed Clement. Clement was said to have become bitter and forlorn after Shireen chose to reconcile with her estranged husband following a 6-week separation. It is believed that Clement and Shireen had been involved for several years, and that this led to Hollis, 40, and Shireen experiencing marital problems. On July 25, Clement allegedly kicked in the front door of the couple's marital home and warned Shireen that he had emptied his bank account before telling her he was prepared to die. It was reported that Clement also gave her 4 days to live, and on July 29, he entered the couple's home and erased both of them in their bedroom. Clement later dropped off food for his elderly father and packed a bag with clothing, water, and food before heading into the forest. Officers of the Northeast Divisional Coastal Patrol, as well as the Maracas and Blanchesas police stations, led by Senior Superintendent Maharaj and Sergeant Jack, visited the scene. Post-mortems are expected to be conducted today on all 3, Clement and the couple. Investigations are ongoing. While villagers expressed relief that the suspect was found, his mother and sister said they had not yet identified the body nor confirmed that it was that of the suspect. They said they were informed that a body was found in the area and were advised to go to the Forensic Science Center in St. James on Wednesday to identify it. The suspect's sister said the last time she saw the suspect was on Wednesday. He came down at my work on Ringston Road and I gave him a roti. It was chicken, goat, and beef mixed because he loves his belly. On Thursday, he called me. He asked if food was ready. I say no. When he didn't stop by on Thursday, I said, all right, I will see him on Friday, please God. On Friday, I finished cooked food early. I thought he was going to call me, but he didn't call. A good friend of the family called me and told me what happened. She said her family members are now fearing for their lives, as other villagers who may have wanted to take justice into their own hands could target the suspect's family next. We have to be alert right now because we don't know what is going to happen. I have an elderly father and he is living right inside there, so I don't know what the situation is. The relative complained that police treated them poorly when they were informed about the discovery of the body. She speculated that the mistreatment may have been because they were the family of a person suspected in the homicide. The police officer came and asked for the mother and didn't even greet us. He just said Forensic Wednesday. That is all. This is how you come to tell a mother about her son? Forensic Wednesday? That is how they addressed us today. We know our brother is guilty. We are not going to lie and say that he didn't do it. We know that he did it, and we know why. We know how our brother felt, but at the end of the day, the family is not guilty, and the family is human beings. So you can't treat everybody like they are guilty. You can't treat people's family like they are dogs. Last Friday morning, the bodies of Hollis and Shireen Valdez were found inside their home. Both had been erased in what residents and relatives described as a love triangle gone sour. The couple had been married for 8 years, during which Shireen and the suspect, Clement, had an ongoing relationship. Relatives said this year the married couple had been on a break for over a month and a half, during which Clement and Shireen had a relationship. When Hollis and Shireen reconciled, however, Clement became upset. Relatives said last week Monday, Clement physically threatened Shireen to leave her husband, but she refused to comply. He then gave her 4 days to live and followed through on his threat days later by taking the lives of the couple. Official in charge of alleged POS extrajudicial homicides on COVID quarantine. Exactly 15 days after investigators returned to the scene of a police-involved shooting in which 3 young men were erased near the corner of Chacon Street and Independence Square, Port of Spain, on July 2, the official directly responsible for carrying out the ballistics analysis has been sent on quarantine leave. Disclosing this yesterday when he was contacted, Acting Police Commissioner McDonald Jacob said this has led to a delay in the investigation. He said they had reached 3/4 of the way in doing their work, and then they went on quarantine. The quarantine period, which began last week, is expected to come to an end this week. Fabian Richards, 22, Isaiah Roberts, 17, both of St. Barb's, and Leonardo Williams, 21, of Beetham Gardens, were erased by the police during an incident around 3:20 a.m. on July 2. The 3 were said to be returning from a party in Diego Martin when they were allegedly pursued and erased by the police. Police countered that they opened fire on the occupants after they were fired upon, a claim that the dead men's relatives have continued to deny. Autopsy results for the 3 reveal that they sustained shot wounds to the back, including the back of the head, the back of the neck, the buttocks, and arms. The 3 survivors, including a teenager who was also injured, were never charged by officers.